which I think is a good segue. I thought it was interesting. I remember you saying you talked about Cinderella, the movie, and how successful that was. But then after that, you had made Alice in Wonderland. That people cared about Cinderella, but they didn't care about Alice. And you had said that characters with heart are the ones that stick around the longest. Can you kind of talk about that? Because I think even to this day, the successful Disney branded movies that are out there do carry what you said, that the character has enough heart to make you care about it. Can you talk about that?
Well, with each character, it has heart, so in a sense, you perceive that that character is his or her own persona, his own character, her own real life being. So, in a sense, it transcends from their world into yours. So, it establishes that relationship, that connection, and gives you that emotion, the stress, the hardship, and leaves you more fulfilled at the end when
they succeed.
Exactly. And not only that, but these are characters that you would actually want to talk to if they were here in real life. Because, let me put it to you this way, if you had a neighbor who pretty much cleans houses for a living and her name was Cinderella and you managed to talk to her, you would actually wish to continue this conversation because she's not two-dimensional, because she...
Right. Well, let's take one of the movies that there's someone that you know that brought you to me, and we won't name drop. Let's talk about Aladdin. In that movie, you had two halves of that heart character, I think. I think you split that, and I know you were already gone, but when Aladdin came out, but I think that's a good example where you had Aladdin, who was the boy downtrodden, who had bigger dreams, didn't know how they were going to fulfill, and then you had the genie who had the capacity to make the dreams come true, but in a way was the flip side of what Aladdin was. He was shackled by his environment, the lamp, and he had to do other people's bidding, and where Aladdin couldn't do what he wanted and to live because he was at the mercy of his situation. And I think that they shared that heart you're talking about. Would you agree with that?
Well, they definitely combined their hearts, if that's what you wish to say. I'm merely stating is that these characters with heart that you care about, or that at least touch your heart in some way.
Mm-hmm.
It was my belief in life, and it's still my belief now, is that you are merely looking into their world. The camera, the TV, everything there is a glimpse into their world. It is not something that is just a story, that is a fairy tale. It is merely a doorway to another world.
And would you say when you have an emotional reaction that you've transcended through the door and you are kind of mirroring and shadowing the character with heart?
Indeed.
So
that's why Mickey Mouse was this bigger than life character, this character that had so much success, because of what he represented. And the thing is, when you passed through that gateway and you actually met with Mickey Mouse,
mm-hmm.
you just had no words to express the joy that you had just interacting with the two of you.
That's a good segue, because I wanted to talk about Disneyland. How do you go from doing animated movies and and live action? You had TV. I remember you being Sunday nights, Walt Disney, in the Wonderful World of Walt Disney. You would come in and you would talk.
The Wonderful World of Disney.
Thank you. Wonderful World of Disney. And you would come in and you talk, and you Uncle Walt, and you would introduce and talk about this, the movie that was coming up, and it was like you were the announcer for it. And I remember that. But then, the piece of it, how do you make the transition to make this fantastical world into 3D, to experience it? touch it, see it, feel it, interact with it. How did that idea really just take a hold and you had to play it out?
Well, it came to me in a form of, I wish I could go to that world and actually, experience it. And it's just one of those things, like, it crawls through your mind. It just comes up slowly and surely, and then grasp you around the neck and say, there you are, my friend. I have an idea. And then you just roll with it. You stay up. You can't sleep. You're just in bed and like, but what if I did this? Yes, that's good. Oh, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I need to get up soon. Oh, I might as well get up anyway. And then you spend that whole day. Your body's tired. Like, hey, I need to sleep. I'm tired. But your mind is like, I have just given them a gateway to our world, to experience, to have a heart-to-heart. And it just became this thing that snowballed downhill, and until it just melted away into a great big diamond that everyone could enjoy.
Was it hard to convince the money backers to do it?
I put it to them this way: I will do it with or without you.
And did you have to say that to Roy too?
No, he was like,
I wanted to share a memory with you. When I was younger, when we went to Disneyland with my family and my sister, and I remember the Peter Pan ride, and the part where I was riding in the ship with my sister. I don't think they shut the bar all the way down, and you know the part where they're flying, where the ship comes in over, you see the Neverland Island down below you, and it makes that turn. I remember when it was making that turn, almost slipping out of the ship because the bar wasn't all the way down. And I remember going, oh my God, I'm going to fall right on top of it. But even, 40 years later, I still remember it. And the scary aspect of it was not overpowering enough for me to still enjoy the experience. And seeing the characters and be able to wear the Mickey Mouse ears and have the balloon with the Mickey Mouse on it. And, people think that because, your Disney is highly merchandise. But I think whoever had the brilliant idea of creating something that they can take home with them and enjoy and wear and recall their experience at Disneyland. Or having a bookcase full of Disney movies, because you make that connection and you invest because you provided the emotional experience.
and not only this, that it has become to where something that it's passed from one generation to another. Those Disney movies that you had as a child are being passed on to your child, and then maybe if they're in good condition, to their child.
Well, I can't, because the movies that Steven had when he grew up, they're all VHS and...
Well, that is not my fault.
I know. The technology evolved and, But in seeing now my son who's grown up, and now I have a daughter who's, 6, and enjoying the movies that I took him to see, that's kind of a unique thing.
The cycle's renewed.
I know. And I think it's amazing that even to this day, in 2015, Disney is still expanding and, tweaking the parks and investing in a much beloved franchise. How do you feel? I kind of wanted to ask you this. How do you feel about what Disney did last year with George Lucas and buying Lucasfilm and bringing that part into the Disney family?
I could tell that it was something that had much love, support, and, practically blood, sweat, and tears poured into it. And a foundation, a company that I was a part of when I was alive, took it in, and I know that it'll be taken care of. It is like your your daughter marrying off, yeah, into someone else and
Right.
you bring it into the family. It is a joyous. It is a good experience. It's like you, right, be a part of the family. Nice to meet you. And it's like, yes, you are good people. And then Thanksgiving comes around, Christmas, and you're like, we're gonna need a bigger house. And you're like, yeah, yeah, you definitely do. Here, let's go over here.
Well, I found it interesting is you still had Disneyland had the affinity with Star Wars, because I remember when Steven was little, he was probably 8. Me and my sister took him to Disneyland, and you did have the Star Tours, with C-3PO and R2-D2, and you're so you did have that relationship with the Star Wars
Exactly.
franchise.
So it was more of we were friends before we
Right.
married. we were just close families.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it.